Hello, it's me again. It's been a while, hasn't it? Well, in any case, today I'm going to show off a map. Well, actually several maps, but they'll get progressively better. And if you're wondering, I'm wearing this lovely sweater hoodie thing because we're saving money by not having the heat on as much. So, yeah, that's that. But anyways, I think I'm going to have to disappear here, but this first map is on the back of an envelope, so I'm going to move up so that you can see better. Okay, there. So we have, it's really, let's see, it goes all sorts of ways, and lighting is being evil and stuff, so maybe if we go turn, and down. So that, aha, there we go. So here we have, Northwood, mountains, etc., places, and all sorts marked together. And this is because the maps were originally not made, and so this is sort of making them in hindsight. And so then from there, after pulling out stuff from my manuscripts, I went and I pulled out more. So here we have map number 2, and then that went from that to this. We have a little legend at the top, and you can start to see this starting to look more like you would expect. And then go to this. It's upside down. Okay, and so we have here a little bit more fleshed out. Mountains are doing more interesting things, and then, well, we have this map down here. And so, you can see it's actually a decent sized map. So first off, let's take a look here at the legend. So it's a work in progress, and the graphical quality of my symbols should hopefully improve between this rough map and the final product, but it's a good enough map, so now I can get back to writing the stories, revising them, now that I know how things. So I have different colors, and I guess I'll show you those too. So I really like this brand of pen here. It's the Uniball Signo. Oh, there we go. Right side up. Uniball Signo UTX. Really good pens. Unfortunately, only a few of the colors are refillable. So, a bit here. You can see it's got some metal bit here, and it's really nice. I really like them. For my black, I've been using a Pigma Micron. There. Though after this runs out, and then the replacement for it, I got the same company, basically just different branding sort of thing. I might replace those pens with a Copic multi-liner because those are refillable, and I really like refillable pens. And here it's Uniball Style Fit. There. And I have 3 colors. I have a green, an orange, and purple. And so between those colors, so black, blue, green, orange, and purple, I have my map. So now let's see here. Let's zoom in a bit. So, here we go. We'll zoom in and move up the road and mountains. And here we go. So here, zoom in a little more. Is it going to focus? Maybe not. I don't know. Could just be, I'm not sure. Focus. Hey. You want to focus, don't you? No? Okay. If we zoom out, does it get better? In any case, that is the place where all the novels start. Well, not start, but where they start in this world. Over in the Dun Forest and then to Bran's Tower. So we have that. And of course, I'm getting the feeling that the forest, it needs to expand a little. But right now, I'm not going to worry so much about that. It's good enough. And I'll worry about the size of the forest on the map for later. If we move across over the mountains and up the valley, and there we go. We have up there our next areas of interest. We have there that N, basically, that's a standing stone. And then we have the dwarven city of Dunhasten. And I can't remember what it means in Old English, but it does mean something. It's so that's that, and stuff happens there and in the woods above, and you can see lots of notes saying, is it Nikor? I'm going to have to check my pronunciation. So even I need to check this out, because yeah. But anyways, they're up there, and there's a little encounter with them, quite fun. And I may add in my revisions, working things out. We may get to see. Well, we should see the Kitsune in book 1, and whether they happen during our time up here in the north or sometime later, we'll find out. But then we go and we travel over the other mountains, and that focus is horrid. Is there a way to manually adjust this? No, of course not. This isn't one of those awesome video cameras. This is one of the... Wait, what's this? Auto? Hello? Are you going to focus? What if I say manual? Then what options does that give me? No, whoa. Oh, hey. Didn't know that would do that. Oh, it's just because it's so zoomed in. I see. Okay. And then we'll switch back to Arto, because apparently it doesn't do anything noticeable. But yeah, so then we have High Strand, which is the capital of the Kingdom of Westflame, and ironically I forgot to label that. But in any case, there's that. Stuff happens there. And then the action moves over the mountains and down. So it's going to be there. So I'm just going to have to zoom out a little. So then we move down here to the Warped Wood and Ryland's Tower. And that's basically the places you visit. So it's a big map, but you only really go a few places in book 1, and book 2 then goes from Fort Mere up to Lakefield. You get a little bit over here, and you go to there, the Arcanum, and you do bits of jumping around, and you revisit Dunfasten, and you visit High Strand, and then, yeah. So if you notice then, zooming out, probably a bit too fast, but you notice then there's a whole lot of map that doesn't get visited. A whole lot of trees that maybe I could have not drawn and saved myself a lot of time and headache, but you know, c'est la vie. But in any case, I wanted a map that's bigger than all of the places I visit in the first 2 novels that are in first draft stage, because, well, I wanted a better sense of the world, and I wanted to know, for instance, climate better, and things like rain shadow. So for instance, our prevailing winds are coming sort of this way. It's either east, directly east, or southeast, I think. And so, because of that, you have this mountain range here, this first one, and so a lot of rain on the coast, and then interior valleys, not as much rain, but because these aren't as tall of mountains, it's not too bad of a rain shadow, so they still get rain, enough for forests and stuff where there are no rivers. And you have a second higher set of mountains, and then a steppe, so like, or high desert. I'm still working on that over here. And this mountain range needs work. I don't like its placements at all. But another mountain range, and then more stuff. And basically, if you're going, well, I see you've got the mountains and they're splitting, and mountains don't do that, but au contraire, at least they do similar things in the Pacific Northwest, and that's sort of what I'm basing this off of, is my experiences there. But modifying things and trying to get it to work right and look, actually believable, so that then when you go and you look at the map of the United States and you go over and you see, oh, the Willamette Valley is sort of in something like that, and the Central Valley of California is in something like that, where you have 2 mountain ranges and they sort of split around the valley and then join up again. And so really this third mountain range is inspired by the Rockies, but the placement is just all wrong, so definitely need to fix that. So you could say inspired by Rockies, inspired by the Cascades, inspired by the Coast Range. Yeah, write from what you know. And since I really wanted to have my own take on things, this is what I'm doing. And also you notice the ocean is over here on the east side, not over there on the west side, so that this is more of a map that is different. I mean, sure, you have Narnia, which is also got the ocean over here, but a lot of fantasy maps, the ocean's over there, which is what I want to avoid. I can live with there being Narnia and some others with oceans over here, that's fine, but it's just something to make it a little different. And seeing the prevailing winds and reading up on all that, and reading up on that, yes, it is possible geologically to have the mountain range, tectonic activity here, and then you have a bit later as another uplifting is going on, you've got a valley form in between the mountain ranges, and learning about that and trying to get it, because when it's in real life, you look at the map, and where did I put that map? Hold on. You're more willing to make allowances for oddities because, truth is stranger than fiction, they say. Here we go. So, actually for comparison, we can show you the National Geographic. And so if you take the size, you notice here that I'm basically only one panel different. But what I really want to show here is if you look here, here's California, the Central Valley, you can sort of see what I'm talking about, or then there, much smaller, the Willamette Valley. And so really that's what I'm trying to get, is that sort of mountain. And so any suggestions on making it actually look realistic would be appreciated, because it's one of the things that's dangerous with fantasy maps, is that the whole looking like they should doesn't always turn out right, because people are like, oh, that can't happen, you can't have mountains that form a sort of oval circle around something, except you sort of can. And I mean, you look at the Gobi Desert in China and the Tibetan Plateau in that area, how you have the Tian Shan Mountains and they're curving one way, and then you have the Himalayas that butt up like that, and so if you look at it, you're like, oh, that sort of looks like Mordor in Lord of the Rings, but Mordor's mountains are more square, and so, I can see definitely people going, oh no, that's not quite real, but then you also look, there's, like Spain's got some interesting things going on, so it's really, I've been finding, as I've been doing all this research, trying to create a fantasy geography that people will go, oh yes, that makes sense, is going to be a lot harder than I thought. And yeah, in any case, this is my map, and yeah, the mountains still need work. I mean, if you can see, I've been playing around with how they turn out, and actually the coastline has pretty much stayed the same. That's a whole lot of me talking, and a whole lot of there we go. Yeah, a whole lot of me talking about the map, but this is, I guess, for posterity mainly, or maybe not. Maybe just because I really like this world I'm creating and I want to share it with you. But since the novel is first draft, and well, you don't really want to read the first draft. It's got work, such as the fact that the beginning changed halfway through writing it. It was starting off one way, and I was like, this isn't working, and then I was like, I know, I'll change this in here, and then suddenly, oh, it works, and now I'm going back and adding a bit more to the beginning, because I'm like, I can do a little bit more character development for a main character here at the beginning, get things a little bit more, set for this character. So there's lots of that going on where things are being worked on, improved, and hopefully you will notice in the final version all these things that I'm going through now, and this map is parts of my process. And so even though this isn't the finished map, because the mountains are going to change, there might be more forests or less, they're a pain to draw, all those trees individually by hand. Yes, I know I could do it on the computer and copy paste, but since the writing is now all on a computer, I need something for my paws to just say, here, a physical product that I have, and the pain's going to be finding a scanner or something, which is why I should make sure before I draw the final map that I know the maximum size a scanner at one of those copy places can handle, so that I don't draw too big. Otherwise, yeah, that would be interesting. Because taking photographs doesn't quite do it justice. Especially since then I have to edit the brightness and contrast, because the lighting in here is, you can probably see it's not that great. And I mean, this is in the evening, so you have that, but then big windows over there during the day, changing natural light. Yeah. But in any case, I'm really liking where this world is going, and I hope that when I do eventually get published, you're able to enjoy it just as much. And I mean, I suppose I could tell you a little bit more about the places, but maybe I'll save that for another time, because I'm already a bit long-winded here, and you probably don't have all this time. I mean, I'm not as entertaining as that video game reviewer Total Biscuit, you know. Yeah, so I've been watching some of those, and it's really interesting, you know, there's someone, they're reviewing games, and, you know, sure, it may be 20 some minutes at times, or longer, but it's really interesting, and then it gives you a sense of the game. And so really, I just need to get better at being, yeah, at this whole video thing. But it's a learning process, right? And so, comments. Of course, I don't get many of those because I don't really have a following, which is okay, because right now, having a following might not be a good idea, because I'm still working things out. And so, better build up the following to when I actually deserve to have one, instead of... Anyways, now I'm really rambling, and that is something I do. So, have fun. Good evening, morning, whatever time zones gets away, and you'll be seeing more of me. Like perhaps something shorter, like maybe me singing my, yeah, maybe you don't want to hear me sing, but maybe I'll just do it just because, for those of you who, you know what, have a good evening, since that's what it is here, or morning, and I'll just see you around, but you will see more of me, because I actually am now temporarily back. And that's temporal, not temporary. So yeah, it's just like sweetened condensed milk. And when I first heard that, I thought it was sweet and condensed milk, but it's sweetened condensed milk. And so it's a good thing I saw the container before I went out shopping for it, because otherwise it would have been confusing, even though if I say it fast enough, it sounds the same anyways. It's one of the interesting things about linguistics, that things I've learned of how... Anyways, that's another topic entirely. So, cheers.